Okay, here we are at the Battle of Deux. I did a first turn because I wanted to get some significant detail of the mechanisms of the game being shown. It is very much like Musket and Pike, but it's not entirely. We saw the initial advance by the Protestants here. Now, this one, let's see. I don't know who this Saint Andre is. Anyway, historically, this battle was actually heavily affected by something that's not available in this system, version of the system, whatever, which is that the Protestants ended up chasing the French left wing off the map, a la Musket and Pike, right? Which this is supposedly, at least on BGG, the same series, just a little lighter, whatever. Even though you can't use the same rules for games across the two series. There are no rules for pursuit off the map here, which would significantly change the situation. Anyway, we did roll for this. Great. All right. That's going to put us on, I guess, the charge down here, but I don't want to start it yet. It's raining hard today. I feel, so much like just everything's got a fucking end, Anyway. Tired enough before I even loaded up the video. It was like 2 a.m. Because, I don't know, whatever. I probably didn't get enough sleep today, all things considered. But now it's getting close on 6 a.m. And I'm back up here to play a little bit more because I've just, found my way to fuck around for a couple hours and get nothing done or whatever. And it's just so easy for me to just, waste time like that. That's life. All right. I think we do things in the same kind of order as before, where the charges go first and whatnot. Part of me says, geez, I don't remember. That's the thing. I know Musket and Pike on this, but I don't know what this is going to do. So initiative, highest order precedence goes first. Okay. Then the alternate activating, respecting precedence of orders. Yeah, that sounds about the same. Okay. So I've got a charge here. This is in rally. This is in march. So we're going to do the two Protestants first again. Does charge make sense? I could probably try to get into march and just trade just trade shots with some of these guys, because I need to recover a lot of stuff. This is of the other unit over there. Although my infantry unit looks like it might be useful, it's L's. Those are the German mercenaries, I think. Yeah, it would be, but I might be able to make room for it and position it into a location where it can fire. And here's the thing, these cav, they can hit this, although they're not going to get those lances again, unfortunately. That result in the fact that the infantry just can't attack the cav means that I can just sit here and continue pumping shots into them. And that's really, really potent. It's also, this is one place where this system is simpler. Because I can effectively do that in Musket and Pike by moving next to and running away. And actually playing the carousel out instead of doing it right in front of the units at a close range. I think this is honestly more accurate because they didn't tend to run away from the line unless the line starts moving in their direction. Yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of cool to watch it happen when it's happening. Also, there's nothing in musket and pike that I'm used to that has a shitty firepower rating. So like Cav getting into a firepower duel with infantry is not a good deal. You want to be coming around the back to do it. You don't want that carousel to be happening, or caracol, however you want to. It's where carousel comes from, okay? Okay, I get a continuation chance. I am in the march capability, and I think that's going to work. So we get to do it again, which will actually allow me to rally this unit and this unit, depending on how I want to do it. And I'm slowly like trying to pivot the infantry into place. This time a whole bunch of fire and nothing came from it. I mean, those Swiss units have decent morale, so it's not, even with the penalties on them, it's not that bad what they're facing, but you know, it's what I got, man. That's going to put me over to these guys in March. This has already been flipped. And I mean, I can kind of tell, but it's just not as effective. And that's Coligny up there. What am I going to do with him? I have a lot of units that need rallying. Oh, this guy was broken and I forgot to move him. I think he had to turn for cost. Yeah, that's a long way away. Huh. I'm not in particularly a hurry, because I don't think the French can do much with this wing. You know? Of course, they can recover it to some extent. But yeah, I think, let's see. I think I want to get to rally. Okay. So we're going march to rally. That's 4 minus 2 is a 6. And we manage that. And that's not going to be right. I had was a charge in the front with a march on the back. This is a charge with a rally on the back. Unlike the regular, the musket and pike that I'm used to, which you know what's on the back of every counter pretty much. There might be some really odd counters that's not the case with. But, you know, rally's always on the back of charge, stuff like that. This allows for a smaller counter mix to work more effectively, but it also takes away some of the ease of play again. Anyway, we get rally rolls for everyone because of this, and then I can run back and hit this. I can't like move him around and rally people as I go, but that's okay. Can't do that in musket and pike either. Miscounted. I can't reach this. And I don't know that I would have rallied in that case. That's going to just run off the board then. I can reach this hex. Conceivably, this guy wasn't routed yet, so here's what I could do. Right? 1. No, I'm still not going to get close enough. Well, yeah, I could go 1. No. I'm not going to get close enough to this unit to be able to make a rally check for him. So I would have, under rally, gone to here instead. That would have guaranteed that roll. I made that roll. I didn't make this roll. But that's what I would have done. And that's the end of them. That puts me to these guys in rally. And honestly, I'm getting the shit shot out of me. I can't just back up, right? There's nothing equivalent to that. Let me make sure that there is, because I was doing it in musket and pike. It's kind of funny Here we go. Note to owners of TACW, the backstep maneuver has been removed from the series and is no longer available even in TACW. Okay, yeah. So I just looked in this accursed Civil War after having looked for it here. And in that game, there's kind of a weird wording where it looks like you can't do it if you look in one place because you have to move into forward hexes. But then there's a specific backstep that's sitting here, right where this note is. But it was gone. And yeah, I mean, I was theoretically using the 6.0 rules, and I'm pretty sure the 3.0 rules have it too. But I just didn't think to look it up because you get used to the rules playing one game in the system. And so, yeah, when I was playing the French battles, I was mainly using this rule set, certainly as my reference, but apparently at least some things crept in. And I was using the charts from whatever game I'm playing because I didn't want to dig that out and deal with that as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that that was something that was added maybe just for this accursed Civil War, and then they're like, yeah, this is stupid. It's too flexible. And it really is. But what it means is I can't just fall back. So to get out of here, I'd have to move 2, 3, and then my ass would be hanging out. That's not necessarily good. It's okay with the S's because, honestly, they kind of are treated as hedgehogs. But fire combat, it's not cool because flank and rear still gives a bonus. So, like, yeah. I mean, I don't think I have a choice but to rally, and that's going to encompass a lot of fire if I do it. It does make sense that they can't just run up there. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I mean, if I'm taking fire from 3 units, that's likely to cause 2 hits for the one that I can recover from. I just don't have an answer to that. And if I about face, that means I take those hits in the weakened situation. So I don't have a way out of this, you know. Conceivably in charge, I could do something like this, but I don't know that that's particularly effective. What I need is these guys to hammer into them. So I guess I stick in rally, but I'm not at all happy with it. Interesting question. I moved here to rally this unit after rallying this one, rolling for this and failing. Haven't decided yet what I'm doing there. That generated a fire. The way it's worded is death checks are if the hexagon containing a commander is the target of fire and the fire hits the targeted hex. I think that's what happened. I rolled the exact number that I needed to hit, but the morale check was safe, but I didn't count him in with it. But I think he actually checks before the morale check. So on a 9, he would have been shot out with no chance of returning, unlike in musket and pike again. So it's easier to die here. These are just not worth rolling for. I'm just going to leave them there, and I guess they suffer. That has gotten me through all 3 commands. We're still in the same position we were in, where I need a 0. Oh, this runs off the board because I couldn't get it anywhere. That's one of these. But that's the only broken unit. I need a 0 in order to bring my other wing in. And it's not coming in. I don't have enough losses on it. So now we just unflip stuff. There's no artillery on this side. These guys can't fire because that wing's not willing to fight. And this guy's all blocked off. Ligny's wing here is kind of complicated. Yeah, both wings are, but I've got it in March, and I'm fine with that. I can leave, you know, these guys to keep trading fire and whittle away at the French line. But if I want to break through, I might need these calves again, or I might need to swing this into place. No matter what, though, I think I need to stay in March for now, in order to do either of those two actions. Units which historically held the longest are both breaking, or two of the three, of the Swiss Guard here. They have high morale, they're good units and everything, but they can't stand up to the calves standing in front of them shooting pistols. Because their firepower, even if they're fully formed and everything, they need a 9 hit to hit, because there's a penalty for shooting a cav. And I guess we'll go for a continuation. Gotta find it. And just not used to the imagery on here and everything. That's not going to do. But we got something relatively successful. If the rally, and we're now on the French, who definitely want to rally to get these cleared up, I guess. If the rally doesn't go through, we got some problems. To rally these two, not these, not this. This didn't try. And that's going to put it over here. Now, obviously, I don't want to be in rally anymore. I want to try to smack around the French forces. Although, I don't know. You know, my infantry isn't really able to do anything against the cav, is the problem. That gets me... Well, it's okay. It's at... Oh, no, it's not allowed to attack. That's the whole problem. And I still have some damaged units that maybe I don't want to charge with. I don't want to be in rally. I want to be in march if I can. So let's try that first. We try to go from rally to march. That's a 3 + 2 for Coligny. And we succeed, not in that. Be back. The problems I have, I went into March, is that these units here, not this one, but these guys, are kind of freezing all my cav. Because an interception chance, like if I try to move away, I go here 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, at 3, I make an interception check. So I don't really want to expose my rear to them. And likewise, this guy, he moves in here. He could be charged. Yeah, I just don't want to do any of that. So let me go for the continuation there, which is down here. That's a 2 goes to 4. I get it. And now I can try to go from march to charge because everything's healthy now. And that will succeed. Kind of a weird situation where Coligny ran in with this to make an attack. I'm making attacks all across the board. They're not going to be great. They're pretty much even attacks. There is a charge here. But I got a couple of units here and a flank attack. Here, not so good. But after Coligny moved this guy into place, he ran back and stepped on this unit. I don't think that unit can move. It must move because it's in charge. It must try to move forward. But these guys are also blocked off. So I've got a bunch of stuff that just doesn't have the capability to move as far as I can tell by this rule set. Anyway, let's take care of the attacks we do. This poor guy's facing the wrong way. And numbers do count. Being able to get this in charge so I could lock them in so that they couldn't intercept as easily. We've pushed forward here. We killed a cav. That brings us to 4 dead cav now. And, I mean, he's flipped over, but don't worry about that for now. And 4 dead cav means on a 0 or a 1, this is released. We don't want that released. In a sense, what we'd like to do, if it weren't for the turn 7, this is going to come in no matter what. What we'd like to do is just never have that come in and try to win with these. Oh. Actually, this is more than that. 2, 4, 5, 6, 6 points. So we're actually on a 0 to 3. I think I lost another unit and haven't been rolling correctly. Okay, that means he's released, and he's got just the march orders. I didn't want to throw him into charge. As we move into turn 4, I clear up the units. There's a fair amount of artillery there. It's not really where I want it, but that's okay. Rainy day, which of course makes me feel more lethargic than most, but even if it weren't, I think I'd want to go back to sleep. I didn't get as much sleep as I'd like, but when I get up during the day, I kind of feel like, geez, I ought to stay awake during the day and live out the day. But I don't know. The tiredness just makes me want to go back. And I woke up at like 10 something or so. It's probably getting close to noon now. Up here, I don't know, it's around 7:30 or so, I guess. Had a friend come by to help me with the toilet thing. Same guy who suggested putting the clamp on. He knows what he's doing for the most part, but he ended up breaking a copper pipe seal that he doesn't know how to cope with. So now we're calling an emergency plumber. My water's all shut off and everything, and he's run to the hardware store to get the pieces we need to repair stuff, but once the pipe is actually fixed. But yeah, and I'm not going to let him pay for the offers, but it doesn't seem fair. But anyway, I figure I'll come up here while he's running to the store, and the plumber's getting his dinner, so he won't be here right away. So let's get started with this. We got all the wings in play at this point. This one's in March, this one's in March, so I guess we check the leader ratings. I'm not sure if these rules work that way. Initiative. Yeah, better commander still goes. I'm going to use, they changed musket and pike, so it was the better commander in charge of one of the wings that could move. So here we got a 1, here we got a 1. That's even. It'll be French. Okay, so the French have their first action, moving their big wing there. I'm going to want to get into charge at some point soon, so I might as well try now. That's going to be march to charge. That's a 4 or 5 for the leader. We get it. I'm sure that's not a charge on the other side. And now we're just going to move into contact, but I probably want to smash this thing before I do anything else. Only my 2 guns over here, they don't quite catch this into their arc of fire. Their arc of fire cuts to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just not going to reach, so I'll probably pivot my guns. Although, let's bash some things and see what happens, because maybe I'll get some shots at retreating stuff instead. I've ended up screening my guns, which means turning them doesn't make a lot of sense either. They may open up later, who knows. Again, I was out of range of anything I could shoot. These guys got left out of command because I moved my leader forward, but they can just chase their way up. Back here may be too much. Right now I'm looking at a gendarme versus a raider, which is fine. It's no bonus. I thought it would be. I've got +3 for the charge and the lances. I could throw another +4 by declaring this in, but I kind of don't want to use up my lances there, so I'm going to hold off on that. I can't throw this unit in. It's from a different wing. So I was looking at +3, morale's the same, +4 for that. That should be sufficient to get me. I mean, that's the maximum you can get in the regular musket and pike. And I'll make the cav my lead unit. And that gets me an 11, which is as good as I can do. Killing another one of these. And I think hitting both of these. Like this. Getting that out of there. Let's check for a continuation. Charge is the easiest to get a continuation. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's up here. It's a 3, 4. I will get that. Does he need to try to jump in? Jumping in is so dangerous. Because yes, I could stop this bleeding here. And that's something I'd like to do. I'm going to try to jump in with him. This is going to be a preemption then at +1. I'm on march. I need a 3, make it 4 for the leader. I do get it. That finishes him because he took an activation. We're over here and I get to do this. I need to check messages just to make sure that all the shit that's going on doesn't fuck with me. There's not much I can do right now. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be gaming, but I'd just be spamming online or something and stressing. So this is actually kind of the best thing I can do mentally for me. Stay in March, I guess. I don't know, charge would let me break this up. It's not optimal because I've got these guys fucking hitting me in the back. But maybe I can use these to cover. Of course, they're in charge, which is not what I want. I think I'm going to try to get into charge there. So march to charge is 5. If I stay in march, that's fine. I'll try to provide a defensive screen instead. But I get to the charge, and that's not it, of course. But we're going to try to destroy these units, break this up, all kind of stuff like that that otherwise we can't do. And fucking up on my offensive fire, not adding the extra movement points in to improve the amount of firepower that I could have dropped on these guys. Of these Germans is not worth taking an advancing fire type thing. These guys fired as he came in. They didn't do any damage, so that's cool at least. This I do not want to move yet. Picture just before the resolve the combats. This guy's hitting this. We're hitting all along here, up over here, just seeing what we can kill. Over here, yeah, I've got enough attacks that I can pin everything down. Nothing's going to be making attacks on me and breaking up my attacks. Actually, I might want to both attack this. This guy's facing away from me, but remember, well, he may not be. Yeah, he's Swiss, so he's got the all-around facing, and I think that counts for being able to counterattack as well. Oh no, he can't attack that shit. Yeah, I may want to combine on this just for best odds. The two charges together, those are all cumulative. Put 2 units in. Yeah, I've got the +2 charge, and I've got an 8 morale against a 6, so I'm at +4. But a Reuter against a Swiss is -3 there, which only puts me at +1. Whereas I add this in, it goes to +2, +3, +4. I don't get any other effects. So I'm going to combine these two into an attack there. I'm not attacking here. These guys just like to shoot. And +5 gets me to the 8, which is not bad. Oh, it's still not going to wreck. It's still not going to destroy his unit. Arquebus here, who shot at these Fs. A versus F. I'm not even allowed to attack there. That's the red 0. I can't attack that unless it's really fucked up. So I've got to launch my infantry against this. Actually, yeah, the G's are allowed to attack. So G versus F still isn't great, but these are such shitty quality, the old style units, that they're not going to hold up too much. So let's take a look. We haven't seen an infantry attack. L versus F gives me a +1. Morale is even. I think that's all I get is just a straight +1, which isn't great, but I want to break up. I don't want to get caught between a hammer and an anvil. And I win, but barely. G versus the F is a -1, but I make up for that with my morale, so I'm at +2 on the charge. Not good. I get thrown back a little bit. To get a continuation with a die roll of 1, I'm going to try to change back into March at this point, which requires a 3 or less. And I get that. Falling into March is, like, I probably want it to be in Rally. This may be why Rally and Musket and Pike is so different. So here, I want to do formation changes. What would Rally have been? Rally would have been easier. The advantage of Rally is I could recover all these units rather than really just one, because I can put my leader on top of one of these and succeed. And I don't have to give up space if I go into Rally. I think I'm going to go into Rally again. Rally is something you never want to do in Musket and Pike for the most part. But here with less, well, or at least into the last command, here I'm going to drop into the Rally. It was more likely anyway, but it feels like a more viable command option more of the time in this one. Mainly because, not because Rally is particularly better here, but because, although it is with only 2 activations, but also because there's nothing else that lets me reform all my units. Emergency plumber thing ended up costing a decent amount, but it wasn't too bad, honestly. And things are done. Turns out my buddy hadn't broken anything. He just didn't really know what he was set up with, and yeah. I would have been better off calling a plumber right off, but without a phone I can't really do that, and I've got, like, you know, in a way the ease of having it just done was better. But anyway, so I stopped partway through my Rally. I had done a couple of these, but I got to work my way through these. I'll get back at it. Basically, I saw the plumber drive up. Within the Rally, I rallied all the units, actually all successful, even this one, but he took fire that reduced him, but then he attacked anyway at just a +1 with a good die roll, and I bust that and send that back. With so many broken units, this command is going to be in a bit of trouble. That flips him. And now I should be here with this one in charge. Still have this one in charge as well. I'm kind of stressed. You know, I didn't go dancing on Friday, not just because of the stress of the toilet, but that certainly factored in. But that, in conjunction with the amount of effort I had put into trying to get things fixed with it, with moving stuff around so I could try to get to where I think the cutoff is. But on top of that, I had done 2 things that week, right? I had done gaming and went for a walk. So it was like my week was so full of shit that I was just too, you know, I could have gone. I was physically okay with going, but I was too worn out sort of emotionally to do another thing. Um, it's really funny. It's like the idea of doing like 3 things in a week is too much for me. It wears me out. That didn't used to be the case. Like, I don't know. You know, I used to go to work every day, actually outside of the home. Anyway, I'm going to break for a bit. I just wanted to make sure I caught what I've got here before I try to think about this. Maybe get something to eat and get some spamming in or something. Okay, back up here to play another wing. Found out something kind of weird. Apparently there was another edition fan-based of rules for La Grande Guerre, and I just heard about that and got caught in that rabbit hole. Usually I don't get caught in gaming rabbit holes that I want to talk about. You know, I was talking about how fatigued I was last week. I'm not fatigued again today. Like, I didn't do shit, right? Like, on Thursday I went for a long walk, right? Hours and hours. There was all the stress, and I did a lot of physical shit with the toilet last week. This week, or today, I basically stood around while someone else, either the plumber or my buddy, depending, was doing most of the work. And, well, all of the work, really. And even that is just incredibly fatiguing. Like, more fatiguing, I think, than doing the work myself would be. It's just, that's the nature of, like, being around people. And he's a nice guy at everything. It's not like, oh, I don't want to be. It's just being around someone. I didn't feel that with my wife. Because she was part of the house, you know, she just belonged here. She was just part of my life, part of me, you know. Even though we barely spoke to each other for the most part, that was just part of. It's like having a dog or something around, right? I don't know, but this is just totally different. Anyway, let's get this wing going. I just find it so I don't know. So kind of astounding how absolutely fatiguing it is to be around people. I'm confused. It looks like I already fired him off, even though I put the dice over by him. But I didn't. What the fuck have I done? I didn't flip him. No, I wouldn't have. I did flip him. So I'm not here. I am either at a rally or a charge. I'm at this charge up here. How could that be? That does not seem possible. Everything was in charge. Yeah, I think I didn't flip this back over. I think that's what happened. I should be here. Fuck. I'm lost as to time. But here's the thing. Yeah. Like, it feels like I didn't go far enough here. Like, I'm back a turn if I did that, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. But if everybody's active, this guy had to slip into charge to attack. He would not have been able to go before him. This guy, but this guy interrupted his command. That's what happened. He interrupted his action. So now actually we are up here. Okay. That works. Zoom in on what his choices are. Caligni here. Kalini. He's in charge. I could continue with that. I've got a couple of units that bringing them into the battle would be highly advantageous. But there are also units that I would kind of like to rally. I think I'm going to stay in charge, though, because I want to wipe this out and start working my way around here. I'm rereading this, and I think I got it wrong. I'm going to play it like the musket and pike handles. A cavalry unit loses a morale level. Fine, fine. Although that would just be a formation hit. No charge bonus, fair. A unit in this type of hex inflicts a -2 die roll modifier for fire on his opponent. No, that's pretty fucking clear. Yeah, that's not how musket. First time I read it, that's how I read it. Now I looked at it and thought, it's a -2 die roll modifier for fire by his opponent. I know, I'm really parsing this because it's French and whatever, and it's a translation from the French. How would this work better? Inflict a modifier of -2 for fire. See, I think this is of this on adversary. Let me take a look. I think day is of, not on. Indeed it is. I'm taking this as a bad translation on the English side. A -2 die roll manner, die roll modifier for fire on his opponent. Sounds like shooting your opponent, like shooting from the village gets you a -2. Which would, honestly, it does make sense. It's very much in the campaigns of, not campaigns, the Great Battles, Great Leaders, Berg Marlborough games. Let's take a look at here. Inflict a modifier on the dot of -2 fire of the adversary. I really think I'm not reading this very well, but I think it's a defensive bonus, just like it is in musket and pike. So I'll read it that way. Anyway, I think I'm staying in charge and launching my attacks. See, here's the problem. I don't get the charge bonus. Fuck. That's definitely going to hurt. But that's okay. Surrounding these and trying to hit as much as we can of these. Stuff in the village is going to be particularly hard to kill. But I'm hoping I have enough modifiers with these rules that I can bust my way through. So the first hit was here, and we got we only had a +1, we got an okay roll, but now we're on the unable to retreat. The original morale of this thing was probably high. It's probably a 7, actually, which means it's normal, and let's see what happens. Probably okay. It gets a 0, it's eliminated, and that's going to cause an advance by this unit, which I believe gives it a morale hit as well for being cav entering that. This unit here, again, lost the battle actually on a pretty hefty roll, but this time he made his unable to retreat roll, and so he kind of hurts a bunch of the Protestant units, basically taking almost nothing on his own. That gives me a continuation chance. Let's check that first. That's fine. I probably want to increase my morale so that I can hit these again with better morale. So I am going to... Do I try to go for rally? Rally is the best. Yeah, let's go for rally. We go from charge to rally. That's a 7, and that works. And I bet you... Hey, how about that? Okay. And that way I can move him in and do things with him to improve my situation. He manages to bust in there pretty hard. That was 2 activations, so he's flipped over. That's going to bring me to, I guess, the one remaining thing, which is Montmorency, Anne of Montmorency, a boy named Anne. There's a song in there somewhere. Yeah, what do I do? Yeah, nothing's good. I think I have to stay in rally. There's no requirement in this game to fall into rally or anything, but I'm in such bad shape that I just feel like it's my only option. So I had a lot of options. I moved Montmorency. I first rallied this. He got shot and hit back to the same place he was. Then I tried to rally these two. One of them succeeded, the other one did not. He's going to run off the board probably. In fact, almost certainly. I moved here so I could rally both of these. But now the Protestants get to attack back. And this may or may not have rear facing capability. I don't know if that comes offensive. But these guys can all attack this one. And that'll help me clear that out of the way. Now, I don't have great odds there in total. So it's a Reuter against a guard. See if we want to do that. And then we'll look at that other thing. A Reuter, against a gendarme is a -1. -2, -3 for the town. To -2. I could get an attack on 0 where I'm taking a lot more potential hits. I don't want to make that attack. Let me check the rules on how that's worded and whether or not I can attack backwards using my sort of hedgehogness. And I don't know if this is the turn that this happened. A Reuter got killed, which would mean that all the I think it is, all the Protestant Reuters at the end of this turn are going to have to make oh, no, I can't find it. Fuck. The Allied disengagement check. No L's have been killed yet. It might happen. But I'm looking for where the fuck it has... the fact that these things can't, that the L is front facing in all directions. And I don't remember where that is. It's as I remembered. For melees, only an unbroken TL or S unit in defense is considered only to have frontal hexes, which means I can't attack back. That hedgehog nature is triggered. So instead of having a hedgehog counter, the fact that I'm facing, my ass is facing him, I can't attack that way. I would be able to attack this way even if I was getting that benefit, but which is a little weird. But anyway, that's going to put me then, if I'm not making any attacks, but are the... Yeah, I decided I'm not going to attack a Reuter against this. That's too weak. I can just fire at it. That puts me on a continuation check, except I don't get one because I'm in rally. Let's flip this over because I think that's my last unit. I think everybody has gone, which means now this route's off the map, and this is an F. Fs aren't... It's an F, but there's something else there. Well, that's part of his pike. Okay. This comes off the map, but now the Reuters have triggered the impact of... Gotta find it. The Allied disengagement. They have to now make morale tests, and if they fail, they get disengagements. And it acts as if it's under a rally order. Let's look there again. Am I missing something about rally? No, I'm allowed to stay adjacent to the enemy. Okay. So it doesn't really force a disengagement. The total effect of that is I got one that got hit with the disengagement. Let's move these up here. I've still got to flip things over. And what that means is it counts as if it's under a rally order, which It's not necessarily particularly bad. I can still shoot. I can still do all my stuff. So, hey, hey, hey. Okay, let's unflip everything and then I'll go try to recuperate a little bit. It's just so funny because, again, this guy comes over and, helps me out with this, and we hang out for a while afterwards. The plumber came, ran in, ran out, just got it done in no time. It was so amazing. But it would have been much better off if I could have just called a plumber in many different ways. But it's so exhausting to me, but I get the feeling that, like, this guy gets sort of an energy out of coming out and doing something and helping and hanging out and all that. Whereas to me, it's kind of like, oh boy, I'm really getting drained here. And then afterwards, I'm just totally wiped. Totally wiped. It's the introvert extrovert thing, but it's just, I don't remember it being this bad for me, and it's really gotten harsh. 4 hours sleep, woke up kind of cold. I didn't have any heat on, and it's getting chilly. So I made myself some coffee and everything. I don't know what's going on exactly, but it feels right. I got tea going down there, and I fucked around online for a while, but it's before 5 now. So who is going to go? We've got rallies everywhere except the main wing, the new wing back here. Part of me says it should charge. In fact, most of me says it should charge. This is the only unit that needs any kind of recovery. And there is my moth, but this looks like a smaller one. No, it can't be. Fuck. It's annoying the hell out of me. Yeah, I think we stay in charge and go forward. I pour my tea and I go get me a cup to get rid of that bastard. I've so far failed to catch him, and I don't expect anything. The infantry line is coming around. I'm trying to bring it, but at the same time, I've got this cav charge happening across here. I'm not sure I'm going to be in command over on this side after this, but that's okay. I'm hoping to smash things out of the way and make it all feel better. All right. So I guess I get to launch attacks. I'm putting a lot on this thing, which feels kind of goofy, but it's in the way. The attack went through and I won all the battles, but not by a lot for the most part. I did kill a unit. We're going to go for our continuation here, which is not up there. This is hard to remember where things are at this one. 4. We do not get it, which is a pity because we have a lot of recovery to do after those hits. And that means one of the rallies goes. And that rally has to be one of the white ones. So let's do some Protestant rallying unit. I don't know which one to take first. This command's going to rally or maybe turn into something else, but it's probably going to rally anyway. So I don't know that it matters too much. I've been under charge again. These guys could continue to push or whatever, rally or whatever, and then this commander who has them under command could then jump back here, get all of this under command, so I don't have to leave the enemy proximity, as it were. For whatever it's worth, I just am like, yeah, but if I was split into 3 pieces, I couldn't do that. I would have to try to gather my unit. I don't know how good or bad a thing that is. I just feel like the rules to this with that may not be next to a unit phrasing. That's one that maybe I ought to look up how it's worded in the French and see if it, but I don't really trust my ability. My friend John, well, my online friend John, a buddy from BGG, who plays some of these, has done that as well. And, his French is probably better than mine, but not by much from what he's made it sound like. You can kind of read it and understand it. No reason to stay and rally because I had a tightly packed group of units that needed to be recovered. Except for maybe this fucker. That's not me. That's part of the other command. And started sending my line, doing about face, and shifting them forward, or to cover my rear against that if it comes forward. But there is cav, coming at me and whatever, and this was the best I could do there. I can't really attack this, not with two reters in the town and whatnot. So I guess we roll for a continuation then. He doesn't want to attack me either. Yeah. Although this might want to, it doesn't want to attack the front. Well, M is shitty. I'm good against M. I would actually be +2 against this if I attacked it. Is it worth it? Yeah, let's try to break that up. Well, that's not going to do it. A1R1. Got the moth on the floor, scooped him under the cup, put that under it, lifted up. Apparently he found a way, the cup wasn't fully on, I guess, or something. He found a way out. It's been a week since it got in the house, damn near. And this is why I'm pissed that people keep wanting to go outside to smoke, because they're like holding the screen door open and stuff like that, or or just poking their nose to the window or whatever. It's like, there's plenty of air. Continuation off the march. Here's the question. This guy got smacked by a cav, and okay, he won the fight, but now he's essentially formation shaken, just, when it works out to that, which is not optimal. And the question that I have is, do I want to drop to rally for this? I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 get to him, but I can't rally all of these units that need it. If I'm in March, because I can only rally stuff that's adjacent to him. So yeah, I guess we'll go for rally again. I just hate going into rally, but it really is the only option to do it right. Yeah, this is where I would go into the receive charge from the normal. I don't know about normal, but from the GMT musket and pikes, which have undergone a lot more development than this system has. All right, this at least lets me roll for everything. That puts me in a significantly different position vis-a-vis these guys hitting that. I could fire. I can't hit, though, because of the -2 from the village, because I'd go up from an 8 to a 10. Anything above an 8, anything above a 9, you can't possibly hit. Yeah, so that's the end of this activation. We didn't get everybody because you got to roll, and that's going to put me over to these guys. Now, again, I think he needs to rally. I'm having trouble finding the colors because I don't put these E's where they belong. Those are both green. This thing's green. Like, there's a lot to have in command, and I don't. So I have this and this in command right now. That's not very helpful. And then I'm going to have to move, and I have a choice between my Swiss or this guy. And this guy is not mine. Okay. Interesting choices with this guy. He's an F. He could turn around and face this L. An F to an L is a -1, and if you remember, the L's are one of the things that has the all-around facing. So attacking it probably isn't that good, but I can't shoot it, which I'm good at, by turning on it, and I kind of need to face these cav that are charging through me. So yucky, yucky, yucky. And I can't actually advance on them because I can't enter a zone if I'm in rally. And I do need to be in rally to get both of these. So, yeah. The Raiders can't hurt me, so I could fall back with them. I don't know if that's particularly good because I'll be disorganizing my unit by falling back. So I might as well hold my line there. All right. Swiss didn't have all around facing. Instead of trying to rally this guy, I might not. I might go to this guy anyway. Just to avoid being shot. And I'll make a check on him. He might get shot. But, you know, as it is, the facing doesn't mean that much. But it's normally I go for, hey, get morale back first, then get formation, and not worry about facing so much. In this game, facing might be a bigger deal in a lot of cases because you can throw more units in and get that facing bonus. You can get it in everything in Musket and Pike, honestly. But, yeah, it could add up to something significant here with the extra unit add-ons and everything, too. I don't know. Anyway, by my reading of out of command, has to try to get back in command. So he'll do a 2-point about face, take fire from this at a 5. Oh, he got rid of his E. Why is this guy healthy? Didn't he just get rid of his E? Okay. I was rolling for fire. That misses. And now I can come down 3. And this gets me a little closer, 4 like this. Again, it's not optimal, but you know. And I stayed in rally, so he is out now. And we are back on the last Protestants. These guys here. I think I'm going to play Damfrost to prepare for Tuesday. It's officially Monday, but you know. I'm probably going to get some more sleep before daylight or in early daylight or something. On this guy, I got to consider something. Return to command. Disengagement is removed from the L or R at the beginning of a change orders phase if the wing commander is stacked with the unit and successfully passes a morale check. Using the wing commander's modifier and everything. So in order to get here, I have to get a continuation. I have to first move there. And it's not enough. It's not like rallying. I can't just grab him and do that. I could rally him first. Because nothing... yeah, because he's under our orders. Yeah, I could rally him first. If I stay... It doesn't matter if I stay in rally. And then, oh, you know what? Never mind. I was going to say, you know what's kind of weird is if these guys could draw their rally off him. No. And then, if I get a continuation. So, as things stand, I wouldn't be able to rally this unit, but I won't anyway. He's going to be out of command anyway. So, I am going to go for a change to march if I can get it. Which is a 3-4, and I do. And let me guess. Straight. I remembered I had one there. It's like a game of memory. All right. This is where we got around to. We got this guy here so he can reincorporate them, maybe. And I think I can still attack with him, even though he's disengaged. Because the only effect is that he's as if he's a rally order, and I think he's got it as sort of an individual command, but done with this wing. This guy swung around. He swung around in reaction. I got an attack on him. Now this isn't great because I'm beaten up. But let's take a look because F suck. So L versus F, it's only a +1. And I'd have a serious morale loss. But this can swing back at me at F versus L, which is a -1, but with 2 morale bonus. So that's a +1. I think the French are going to take that attack. Although I've got the good firepower and I can probably outgun it. I'm not going to take that attack because it's going to screw me up. I'm going to take this attack and this attack, though, with the Protestants. And maybe this one. No. And did he recover? Fuck. I don't remember. Like, I shot with this guy. I think I can shoot with this guy as well. I don't think he had to recover. The continuation. And I think I want to slip into rally because I have a lot of units that are kind of beaten up. That's not me. I don't know. I don't know if I really do. That's kind of all I need to do. I think I stay in March, honestly. So then I can run back, rally him or him. Oh, that's not me. The fuck? Yeah, it is. That's blue. It looked green to me, but there's no green. Because I'm going to have to put things in command to be able to rally them anyway. Oh, there's this guy. This guy got knocked back as well. Fuck. All right, we'll go for rally because it doesn't really hurt me to be in rally. I don't really want to move anything particularly. So march to rally is a 4-5. I get it. Started stacked with that unit. I get my D back. I don't know where he is. He's over here. I'm not using these out of command markers, which I probably should. They would help me. Remind me, I could at least use them as some sort of way of letting me know, hey, I have to pay attention to this unit or something. I should use them for something. This is my final positioning here. I didn't shoot with him. I should shoot somebody. I did shoot with him. This guy's marching his way back. He's in command now, so there's that. But again, I've got a lot of commands in rally, which usually in musket and pike I just don't do because you don't get the continuations. So you only want to do it on your third activation, which is unlikely to happen, to be honest. Even with okay leaders, you know, likely they'll fail one of their continuations. And also, I don't know, just a lot of reasons that like maybe the numbers are a little different here, and I'm just more willing to drop into rally here. In which case, it becomes kind of like the receive charge in a lot of ways. If that's the case, they may have just, you know, added the extra order state. I know I'm thinking real hard for no good reason. All right, let me figure out who I want to shoot. Probably this guy, because this guy's going to go run off, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Although destroying a unit is always useful. Didn't end up mattering. This moves forward. We need some battery charge. That guy's running away. I probably can't pick him up. Here's my current losses. Still bad for the French, but the field position looks really good for the French with this relatively healthy and somewhat organized wing. At least the infantry is certainly organized, but the rest of it is also not in terrible shape. Whereas the Protestants are kind of getting mixed up within each other. This wing is a mess as to where it is. This is the only really, this isn't too bad, I guess. Except that I've got this infantry here and the cav here. And I'd kind of like to have them operating together, but I need the pressure on this to keep it from gathering together and becoming another attack on me. So I'm spending a lot of time on this one compared to the musket and pikes. some of it is being a little uncomfortable with the mechanisms in play, but some of it feels like I'm actually having to figure through stuff differently. Now, it just may be that, again, those mechanisms not being, ground into me, perhaps incorrectly, is making it harder to make all the decisions. Like things like how I have to move the leader and everything like that is just, it feels a little uncomfortable to me. And I feel like all my decisions are taking another layer or two of trying to assess the board more manually than just, oh yeah, I need to do this. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure because most of the rules are very, very similar. So it should feel like it plays out similarly. But it feels like I'm fighting through pea soup all the time in this. Monday morning, with daylight and whatnot. It's kind of scary because I got an alert from my bank, not about the plumber thing, but about a payment. I had apparently set up new alerts. I've never gotten this before. When I paid my credit card off, it set an alert off, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And it's like, it's different in a number of ways, but it's definitely the amount that I paid on my last credit card statement. So, okay, but it set me into like panic mode. Right now I'm playing Damn Frost downstairs. I tried to watch video and just wanted to come up here and play this as well. So I might be bopping back and forth. I forgot how annoying Damn Frost can be. Like, I've got 4 players going, and one of them's just fucking hosed. The guy who went first, actually. Which, isn't always the case. But there's so much luck, and you can really get screwed over by it. And you can really get screwed over by other people's choices, too. Which kind of happened here. So where am I here? I've got everything in rally except for that big French new wing. I got to think about this for a moment. Command is way over here, which is obviously not going to stay that way, but it complicates things because I have to move to a unit. This is one of his, yeah. I'd have to move to a unit to put these guys in command. And then the rest couldn't move. Now, if I'm clever with my choice, like this one, it might work okay. I think I want to drop out of charge and restore these 2 units, and this one, and try to move forward. So we're going from charge to, I guess, march. I'm not thrilled because of the low chance, but I definitely don't want to go to rally here. Not getting it, so we stay in charge. And that does not allow me to rally, which means I got problems. Now, what I could do is actually bop this guy back somewhere. And, yeah, but then I can't, man, I must, so this is horrible. I must move, I can move to get into command and then move back to that or something. But I must move everything closer. I could kind of cheat that by running away here, but I must move everything closer to the enemy. These guys have to try to go into command if they can. Wow, this is fucked up. I'm going to lose this unless I can get out of charge on a continuation. Yeah, this is so weird. Yeah, normally, in Musket and Pike, you'd have an army commander who could run around and fix problems. They feel a little too powerful, and I kind of like that they're not in this, but anyway. If I move on to a unit, I can move on to this one, but if I move on to a unit that hasn't moved yet, I can't move that unit without leaving my commander alone, which is not allowed in this. And I can't move the commander again and I must move that unit if it's in command. It's a horrible, like, set of paradoxes I don't know what the fuck to do with. Now, I moved this unit, I can run back here, or I could run to this, but that doesn't put anything in command, but it might as other units come closer. This is what I hate. It's because I can't leave the leader alone. So like this unit, I can move forward 1, 2, 3, but it has to keep going further forward to try to get as far into command. Now this guy went as far as he could, I think, I hope. But this one would have to go as far as he could to get into command. And then I can move back to try to join him, but then I'm not putting these others in command yet, and so I can't stop them from running towards me. I really don't like the way the command and control rules work because I have to stay on a unit at all times. I staggered all these. I've brought 1, 2, 3 these units into command, and with charge they have to attack. I kind of didn't want to do that. I don't know how. I mean, they don't have to attack, but they have to advance. I don't know how I could have manipulated it better. It's just, I feel like I'm really constrained in ugly ways. On the other hand, I wouldn't want to turn around, like I might be able to do something that would get him out of command, but then he'd turn around and run back, and he'd get, well, he wouldn't get countercharged. He would when he turns around. Because of this, right? No. It's, wait a minute. It's these 3 hexes. So this guy couldn't turn around. It's just, we sweep a bunch of questionable contacts here. Of course, some of them, the Protestants can't fight back on, like infantry against cav. So yeah, whatever. Let me start trying to figure out who wants to attack and counterattack. We had some interesting situations here. A damaged unit broke when defeating another unit. Again, that does not happen in the normal musket and pike. You might get formation broken, but you don't end up just unit broken, which is basically a combination of formation and morale hits. It basically is the equivalent of morale broken. And it's just a bad situation. Most of these chose not to attack. The Protestants attacked here and smashed into this. They destroyed a unit. All Lancers here. And that was my charge. He's done. He did not get a continuation. And that's going to put it over on one of the 2 Protestant units in rally, and I gotta think real hard what I'm trying to do. Yeah, this one is hurting my brain a lot more than the regular musket and pike stuff did. I feel like a lot of smoothing of the game happened in the GMT design, even though it adds some complexity and some realism and whatnot. It may take some away too, but it feels like a much smoother and cleaner system. I cannot call this one a simplified version. This is more painful in so many ways. I'm kind of glad that I didn't buy more of these, although I don't have, a lot of battles. Like, these are covering battles that I don't have anything for, which I also kind of regret having avoided buying them because of that. Tell in this jumbled mess which command I want to activate. So Conde here has stuff over here, some of which is in contact with the command that hasn't gotten to rally yet, and it might turn and cause me some issues. On the other hand, Coligny has most of this here, although I don't know if I can launch an attack there. And then the rest of his stuff is facing up that way. And I just don't know. I can rally this. I'm going to try to go to make ready, I think. I don't know. With Caligny. So I'm going from rally to march. I don't get it, so I'm stuck in rally, which means not going to move closer to the enemy, which is really confusing because there's enemy all over the place. But I can't move closer to the closest one or whatever. I can't end up closer to the enemy than I already am. Essentially does almost nothing. I rally this unit, I take some shots and stuff, but none of it does anything. That puts it back here to Anne. I kind of think he wants to stay in rally. He can rally these two, then he can run back here, get this back in command so he doesn't have to try to withdraw and get busted up by walking through the town. For whatever that matters. I think I can pivot this at least one hex. Don't think I can bring into full contact, but that's okay. Certainly can't if I moved Montmorency into here. Well, I could have pivoted twice if it's allowable, but I pivoted and did some fire, and that then, since I'm in rally, everybody's in fucking rally, and that's why nothing's happening. That'll put the other Protestant command in play over here, Conde's command. Again, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Sit. I can rally I can recover a lot of units in rally, and everything's in command. So I'm going to start here firing and, work my way around so I don't break up my command if something goes really wrong. I don't think I can get out of rally into march. I need to rally too many units, I guess. Move to keep this guy in command so I don't run away, because this could charge him. Actually, no, he can't. I don't have the same charge ranges. 2, 3, 4. Am I moving closer to anything? Yeah, 2, 3, 4. I guess like this. And that's the end, because everything's in fucking rally and nothing can move. The broken units are going to run. Oh, what the hell? Who's this? Yeah, he's one of these. They went early. They're fucked up. All right, so we'll be moving into the 7th turn, which is important because it would trigger this. It's the last turn that this the movement restriction would exist for these guys, but they got activated already. So far, this game is way more of a headache than the musket and pike stuff is. Anyway, I'm gonna go see if anything online attracts me, and if not, probably play a little more Damn Frost. 4 hours wasn't gonna cut it. I fell back asleep approximately the time that I think, certainly through the time that I'm supposed to start gaming tomorrow. It's okay. My sleeping schedule shifts around so much. I can make do and figure out, a way to get some decent sleep in. I feel tired enough now. Of course, that'll change. Managed to get a game of Damn Frost in, which is cool. Managed to realize I don't like it all that much, but whatever. It's just there's I don't know. There's a lot of luck in terms of and bad decisions, bad luck very early on can fuck you for the whole game, and it's too long a game for that, right? It's not a long game, but it's too long a game. It gets kind of tedious. Anyway. All right, what do we got here? Well, we got one column that's not in rally, so they are the ones who will go. What are they up to? I don't know. It looks like they're mostly in command, although I do have a couple of units out here that I can't get them both in command, and they may have to withdraw. Do I want to stay? So the only way I can get in, I can rally units. Oh, this is the other command. Yeah, there really isn't much. There's this that needs to be rallied. The only way I could rally, I can rally that in March. These I don't need to go into rally for. I think, I mean, I'm not going to be able to hit these because infantry can't hit cav. I can shoot them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And they can't, or no, those are riders. They're going to be able to shoot me better than I can shoot them. So yeah, I think I'm just going to try to go for a march if I can. And I don't get it, so I stay in charge. That's bad. And I forgot about this. Cav that are in E have a well, anything in E has a movement of 0. I turned around, and I kind of have to try to get out of, to get back in command. Actually, I didn't have to. Fuck. Because these are going to put it in command. Screw that. I would not have retreated. But what happened was I turned around, took fairly hefty fire from these M units, the militia or whatever. They have a really, really good fire number. It's very low. I don't know if militia is the right term. They're like, you know, they look more like musketeers, but they're defined as militia over here. Let me see what they're written as. Yeah, they're written as militia there too. But yeah, they're all musketeers and arquebusiers. So yeah, they have a lot of fire. They're low morale, and E puts you where you can't move, so I wouldn't have been able to continue running forward. And then, worse, that would make him eligible to be meleeed by them as well. And if we look at the quick chart, M versus, well, it would still have a -2, but I'd be hitting from the rear. I don't know if it would be worth it, because the morale wouldn't be much better anyway. All right, let's get to this guy though. This guy is not in command, and he has to do that. Is this a French unit here? Ooh, this is too. So this one is in that position where this thing can melee it, and probably should have on its last move. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess, I don't know. I can't move adjacent after that. All right. And we'll get to those infantry up there. Kind of in an annoying position because notionally, so this is what I would do in musket and pike. I would move this infantry forward, leaving the leader here. Then I would move this infantry forward. Then I would put the leader somewhere. I can do all of that. I just move the leader first. But it's a matter of I want to keep my line together, and it makes it clumsier. It makes it clumsier because now I have to notionally go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can make it here. And now this unit slips in behind, so I have to move this next. 1, 2, 3, 4 before I move this. And now I move this 1, 2, 3, 4 to be technically in compliance for whatever that's worth. You know? Anyhow, what's going on here? I don't want to shoot these guys. I don't have to do anything with either of these. These could melee these. That's the only factor. And if I turn, I can get shot, which, well, I don't have any movement points. I can't turn. So what is an L? That's going to be at -2. Morale's not going to go well for me. I got some flanking and whatnot, but I don't want to hit this because I'm in too bad a shape. Anyway, let's make a quick, I know I'm running into detail, but that's my way of showing more of a system. But it's really just a matter of I'm still struggling to get it right. And when I'm still struggling, my feeling is I haven't shown enough because it hasn't ground into my head right how to play the game. So the more clunky and whatever a game is, the more likely I'm going to zoom in, the more it doesn't kind of catch with my gears. Okay, let's try a continuation now, which is 3-4. Not going to happen. So I'm stuck here. There were no melees I wanted to make that I was allowed to. Well, even something like this. I mean, what a gendarme versus that. I would be a +1/+2. I might want to make that one. +1/+2. It doesn't get any shots at me. Yeah, what the hell? +2 is better than nothing. Yeah. Everything's already accounted for. Let's do that one. All right, I get a shitty 3, which means this wins. This has to retreat. Just 1 hex and takes another hit. Yeah. And that gets me loose so that I could recover and get in better shape. And honestly, you know, the push of the melee is just not that bad. Now that's going to put it over to one of the 2 Protestant wings, both of which are in rally, and I don't know. Again, I have to kind of parse out which one I really wanted to use first, and it's a complex situation. I just keep not wanting to attack here because just being in the village here, this is really funny. Again, I keep going back to the Great Battles, Great Leaders, the Marlborough stuff that Berg did, which tried to work a lot of system type stuff to make villages work like they did in that era. And they're kind of working that way here in this game. I don't know. They don't feel that way in Musket and Pike. There's something about, and I'm not even sure what, that's making them kind of invulnerable, but a trap. Of course, what's not happening is something that did happen in that, which was one of the special rules, had to do with overcrowding of the village. It just became more and more like there were reasons to overcrowd the village, which feel like they were gamey in some way and, you know, designed for effect and all that shit. Anyway, I think I want to do, I don't know what I want to do. Like, if I'm trying to get a jump on him, I want to do Condé first. And I don't want to be in rally, but that's okay. I can go to March, and that'll allow me to still rally this. Yeah. Now we have kind of a nice position where I can attack this here with both of these at the end. However, this gets to hit this first, if it so desires. Now, I don't know about an F. Remember, an L is one of those things that has frontal facing when it's hit from behind. An F versus an L is going to be -1. Morale checks. Like, I'm probably going to break this enough that, I don't know, maybe it doesn't want to. Evens that up. We both have leaders. And we hit from the rear. We're going to hit it +1. And I think we just do it, you know. This is the other thing, my decision-making process, I also feel like I have to spell out because it's not coming automatically anymore. A1, D2, R2. R2, D2. Looks like I'll be able to retreat. I'm not sure. I think I retreat into here and then I get blocked. So this faded away due to the unable to retreat, and that takes Condé away with it, which is a big deal. That means I'm going to get, who's this? Roach Fecco, I don't know, coming in next turn. But it means I can't get a continuation here, which is what I wanted. But I still have this attack here. Let's just do it on video since I'm here. Both guards, +2 morale, and I think that's it. And that gets a minor. Basically, I retreat him. That's the only real difference. But he does break. Put us over to the old French wing, which is getting pretty beaten up here. That's not part of it. It's these. I'm not sure if there's something else hiding somewhere. I finally got that moth out. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I probably don't want to be in rally because these guys can swing around, and I probably do want to be in march. Not happening, so rally it is. Makes a little bit more sense. I still got this guy out here, but it's still not in great shape. And that'll put me on the last wing, which is good old Coligny, who I kind of want to get into charge at some point or another so that I can bring units in against this and try to clear it out of the way and finally bring him to bear against the back of this wing. I jump right into charge because the chances are too low, but that is the last activation, and we got a couple more units right off the board. Let's see what they are. That's a G. That's not going to cause any collateral effects. And was that a French I just pulled off? Honestly, I think it was. Fuck. Well, I don't remember where he was. I think it was this guy. He should not have been there. So he was here. There we go. He's got to make his way down to this border. But this one does leave. And that is, again, a G. Okay. And that's going to move me here. We're going to get our replacement leader. This is our only replacement leader. I don't know what happens if he disappears. I'll put him here because that'll help me rally. And then I can reposition him to wherever else he needs to go. And we look for unflips. And I think we moved that forward. You know, I'm taking so much time on this game, and I'm not, again, it's because I'm struggling to explain what the hell is going on in my own head. And I don't think it actually provides more. But I'm going to load this up since I've already broken it into parts as it stands.